Welcome to episode 3 of the Take Aim Gamescast. I'm your host, Scott Mills, the PC and Xbox expert. I'm joined on my left by Brett Wolf, the PlayStation expert.
Yo.
And Eric King, the Nintendo expert on my right.
What's up?
So today we have a special episode we're going to go over with you today. We're going to talk about our top 5 games that we personally played in 2018. These are games that were impactful to us, not necessarily the general consensus best games of 2018. These are not necessarily games that even came out in 2018, just games that we played through like more than 10 hours, played through to completion in 2018, and made an impact for us. So we're going to start with Brett. We're going to go from 5th best to 1st best, and we're each just going to go in order, and then we will end with our top picks. So Brett, what was your 5th best game of 2018?
So I played a lot of games this year. So coming in at number 5 was Nier Automata, which came out in 2017.
Okay.
And it was developed by Platinum Games. This was a game where it had a little bit of everything in terms of its different genres. You had an adventure game, you had RPG elements, you had a top-down shooter. It just had a little bit of everything to keep you engaged and keep it fresh as you transition between level and level. And it's a game where you play as 3 different characters, and you play your main character is 2A, and 2B. And 2B is an android whose purpose is to make the Earth more habitable for humans to come back. So it's post-apocalyptic, and she joins with a character named 9S, and those are the 2 main characters in the game. And you play through the game, and I don't want to spoil the end, but basically you're trying to find your purpose in life as 2B, and it's the way the soundtrack is. It makes you feel so alive in the world, and it kind of just makes you sympathize with the main characters, and it kind of, pulled me in. I couldn't stop playing it, and I ended up getting the platinum in the game. And to get the platinum in the game, you had to finish the 5 main endings, and there's 26 endings in total, all with a different letter of the alphabet. So A through Z are all the endings you can get, and to get the platinum in the game, you had to do A through E. And yeah, it was just a game that I just felt so immersed in, and a game I just couldn't put down. I had to keep on playing it. I had to keep on, doing the side quests and tinkering with the different weapons, and it was just, just a perfect game, touching, and a game that I would love to play a sequel in.
Yeah, that certainly sounds like a game I would be interested in. I hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah.
So thanks for telling me about a game that I might be able to try out.
Yeah.
Eric, what was your number 5 game for 2018?
Coming in at number 5 would probably have to be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty big improvement over the previous versions. I think this one has, 74 characters in it, which is a major, I don't know if I'd say a major increase, but I think the previous ones, the highest was probably around 50.
Yeah, they said that this game
this game
every character
right,
from
right,
previous games in
exactly.
it,
So yeah, there's that, and then it's got over 100 stages on it, which I don't even know if I've played through every stage at this point. It's that big, so it's that, and then a big improvement for this game was it has a new adventure mode called World of Light, and you basically just go through on this little mini map with your little mini character, and you go and find all these battles and play through them. And for this is like an easy way to unlock every single character in the game, because every character's in this mode, and you eventually find them. So you're not guessing like, when am I gonna unlock this character, or how am I gonna get this character? Because you just play through the whole mode, you unlock every character. And another addition to the game is they have spirits, which you can play. It's mainly for World of Light, but you can also do when you're doing battles, like even online, you can do it where you have these spirits, which they're basically like cards you equip, I would say, and they have little like improvements you could have on your character depending on which one you equip. But there's like over 1,400 spirits in this. So
Holy shit!
Wow.
yeah, that's a crazy number, which obviously I've not unlocked all of those yet, but I'm starting to get there. But you can also level up these spirits too, which is a cool thing too. But other than that, I mean, no real major improvements. I mean, it's got everything any previous Smash Bros had.
So it's just another Smash game that just been kind of like
Yeah, with a extra adventure mode. Which
yeah.
it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
It's a cool addition. So
Yeah, I always enjoy those games. They're casual for the family. Definitely worth
well,
checking out.
casual, but they're also very competitive.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
right.
so yeah, it's easy to just play with
It's good for
anybody,
anybody,
and
really.
it has a high learning curve for mastering.
'Cause, I mean,
so,
they even do
yeah.
what like pro gaming for that game. I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Eric, for that one. And now for the fifth game that I enjoyed the most in 2018, my number 5, NBA 2K19. Now you guys are probably, if you guys have played NBA 2K19, you might understand there's some frustrations with bugs in the game when it comes out, and it's very difficult to win when you're playing PvP against other people. So you're asking, why is this number 5 on my list when
Oh, definitely.
so
I'm
much
asking why it's number 5 on
frustration.
your list.
I just love, we've played the 2K franchise for the last 3 years.
4.
4
Yeah,
4
4.
years.
Yeah.
I think for me it's been
4.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah,
fourth
this is the
year.
fourth
Oh my
one.
goodness,
Yep.
yeah, I started with 2016.
Yep.
But yeah, we always have such a hype level.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Before these games come out, I'm gonna make a power forward, I'm gonna make a center,
We're gonna be
I'm
awesome.
gonna make this point guard.
Dude, we're gonna be
the
so
We
good.
got the
Just
best
wait.
lineup. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And then one guy always ruins it.
And I
I'll
love
keep his
that,
name.
that hype level before the games come out, like just the planning of our character creation. And then I just like playing with you guys, and we have our little things that always come up, like whenever we're on the free throw line, and there's this ceremonial first miss, even when you have a 90 overall free throw rating. It's like, oh. So yeah, so that's why that's on there, because that's just the tradition that we play, and it's fun. So.
Okay.
So Brett, let's get back to you. What's your
Alright.
number 4? game?
Number 4, and some people might think it's pretty low on my list, but it is Red Dead Redemption 2, developed by Rockstar Games. It had everything that I would want as a gamer. I was totally immersed in the game. I was obsessed with it, consumed by it, and the story was amazing. I got the good ending in the game, and just the only bad part of the game I did not like was the combat. I hated the shooting mechanics. I thought it was weak. I mean, it's 2018. It just felt like, unless you were using the dead aim sight, like it was so hard to hit somebody, and I felt like the missions felt redundant. After the first couple of chapters, it's pretty much you're riding into town, and I hated the fast traveling. I hated it. I hated waiting 5 minutes to get from town to town. I thought that broke my immersion. Yeah, it's supposed to be like, well, you're supposed to ride into town. You're not gonna like teleport, but I hated that. It made me feel the game took a lot longer than it should have. and it was basically just rob a bank. You have a gunfight, and you go back to camp, and oh great, I have another bounty on me. You know, so, but the graphics were amazing. It was total Rockstar, and I had no problems with the inventory. The UI was great. Just the combat felt weak to me, and I hated the fast traveling. But overall, you know, it was still a great story, which I consider to be great games are great stories, and how you feel when you're playing the game with the soundtrack, how you relate to the characters, get to know the characters, get their feelings and their purpose in the game.
Yeah, I thought
So-
that was cool too.
Yeah.
Just the getting to know the characters.
So it's still a top 5 game for me, but due to those factors that I mentioned, it's at number 4 for me.
Okay, I'm curious, have you tried the online mode for that? Because I know the online mode came out after the main single player stuff.
I'm not a big multiplayer guy. I haven't played it yet. I might dive into it and see what it's all about, but with people talking about, like on Reddit, with the gold problems and the currency and how long it takes to grind, I don't have the time for it, so
Yeah.
I might, dabble in it, here and there, but nothing I can see myself really gravitating towards and playing for a long time. So, I mean, I might even, after I play with it, the online mode a couple of times, I'll probably just delete it from my PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So, but still, overall, great game, but just not, due to those limiting factors for me, bumped it down to number 4 for me.
Okay. Well, Eric, what was your 4th?
Coming in at number 4, I'd have to say Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Alright.
It's basically just a remake of the original versions and set in Kanto, back with the original 150. And I mean, there's a few minor tweaks they've had to it, such as, well, a major tweak would be as far as catching Pokemon goes. They completely eliminated the battles, which I actually thought was a good tweak, because I mean, I always thought the battles were kind of they were kind of a waste of time, really, as far as
Battling the wild Pokemon you're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
not the
yeah.
trainers,
Well,
but-
well, the good thing about it now is when you're running through the tall grass, you can avoid the Pokemon now.
Oh, I love that.
Because
Yeah.
you can see which ones you want to get.
Because that was the major waste of time, is you run into these wild Pokemon that you don't even want to deal with back in the old game, and beating them really didn't get you all that much experience. So they cut that out. You just throw your Pokeball. You gotta they have a little circle that just lowers, and you gotta time it to where you get it right at the perfect time. But your Pokemon get XP for it. Your whole team gets XP now, rather than just whatever Pokemon you send out. Now your whole team gets XP for every battle, every time you catch a Pokemon. And then, as far as other tweaks go on that, I mean, they didn't have anything major. They had a few minor, like you ride your Pokemon now, rather than riding a bike around.
Because the bike was eliminated, like, you can't ride a bike in the game,
it's like
right?
Completely gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just ride the Pokemon.
Okay.
They got rid of HMs, which was nice because you don't have to waste a move.
On an HM horror, like,
Yeah,
use
like
one
cut.
Pokemon, like,
Yeah,
to
well-
fucking learn all the moves, yeah.
Exactly. You got waste a move on like cut and flash and all
yeah.
that crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I can't. Was there any other real
I mean,
tweaks that not that I can think of? I mean,
Yeah,
No.
it just brought back
They
the
added
nostalgia.
mega evolutions, which that wasn't in the original.
Okay.
well, thanks for spoiling that for me,
Oh.
buddy. Damn it. No, I knew that they were in the game, so.
Okay.
But I mean, other than that, I don't think they made it. I mean, visuals obviously way better than the originals, but
But it's a good break between, the main core games, right?
Yeah.
Between the hardcore fans and, because
Yeah.
they want Gen 8, right?
yeah,
That's
but I
the
wouldn't
next-
really call this game not hardcore. I mean, obviously the wild Pokemon isn't a thing, but other than that, it's basically the same thing. I mean, the battles and everything. So
Cool.
But yeah, that's number 4 for me. So.
Very cool. Yeah, that game still gets the nostalgia going.
Wow,
and makes you happy to play it. All right. My number 4 game that I played in 2018 is Dragon Age Inquisition. I've been playing this game probably for the last 2 years. And I'm still playing it. I'm like over 80 hours into it, and I still enjoy playing it. I just like the RPG elements. It's just a fun game for me to just play whenever I don't have anything else to do. Oh, let's go try to complete this game as 100% as possible, even though it's so huge. So yeah, I'm still working my way through it. Still a really fun game. And yeah, so that's my number 4. Brett, what was your 3rd best game you've played in 2018?
So my number 3 game was the game I called the Game of the Year in our previous episodes, and it is God of War by Santa Monica Studios.
Number 3?
It's number 3. I have not played any of the previous God of War games. So this was my first game in the series, and I was in love with it. I thought Kratos was more of a he was a father figure. He was a guy you can sympathize with, and watching him grow as a character from kind of being hesitant with teaching Atreus and being that role model for him, at the end of the game he became that figure, and you see that transformation throughout the game. Whereas in the previous games that I saw, it was just a hack and slash. He's pissed off at everything. He's trying to kill everything in sight, you know. And the one moment in the game, I won't spoil it, but it's it got my heart racing, and I was like obsessed with it. So, I mean, Eric, you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly what you're talking about.
So, it's number 3 for me because the other 2 games are games that have a special place in my heart, and I probably will never forget those games. But it's definitely the best game that I played on a Sony first party studio game. Even better than The Last of Us. So definitely a game that just kind of has a little bit of everything that makes it a great game. So don't give me the nah look. So that's my number 3. They knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see what the franchise has in store. And I'm glad Corey Barlog is staying with Santa Monica Studios and going to make this into a franchise that will continue to evolve into the PlayStation 5 generation.
For sure, yeah. Eric, what was your 3rd best game?
Well, I'd probably go number 3. I'd probably go with Madden.
Madden?
I played a lot. Played a lot of it this year, which as I do
a fan of Madden
every year. But I mean, as far as that one goes, I don't think there was a whole lot of improvements as far as the game goes. It's a yearly release, so it's basically more or less the same thing every year. But I think one addition they did make was coaching adjustments. I'm not sure if they had that in previous games, or maybe it's just something I found out about this year. But as far as when you're playing, they have these things called coaching adjustments now, where you basically can set your secondary to play aggressive or conservative. You can set your pass rush to play aggressive or conservative, and there's like pluses or minuses to that as far as that goes. Like if you set your pass rush, for example, to aggressive, they're gonna end up getting more offsides, more. Okay. Like if you set your blocking to more aggressive, they'll get more holds. But basically, what I do is I tweak it to what I think will work for me as far as my playstyle goes. But I mean, I set it to aggressive for a lot of the things, not everything, because like tackling, I think you could set to aggressive, and if you set it to aggressive, they're gonna miss tackles because they're trying to hit the guys hard and stuff like that. But I know that was one. I don't know if that was like a new thing this year. Maybe our viewers know, but it was something I just found out about this year. I mean, I think they improved long shot, but I don't really get into that mode.
Yeah, I played it the last year. I'm definitely, whenever it comes on EA Access, I'll check out the long shot mode.
Yeah, I mean, it would be something I'd be interested in, like if they could manage to make something like kind of like what 2K does,
Yeah.
where you can play with your friends and
but
make
right
your
now
own
it's-
character.
That would be
It's
sick.
just a
That would be
story
sick.
mode with
Yeah.
they're developing their own character.
Yeah, because I mean, if they went and do it and did it like that, that would probably be something I would really be interested in.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would
that
be
could
pretty cool.
get a lot
That
more
would be really cool.
people playing Madden just adding that
Yeah,
mode.
might just buy it instead of waiting
Uh,
for it to be on EA Access.
But yeah, unfortunately, they didn't do that this year. Maybe next year we'll see. But
Hey, that's EA for you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I didn't think there was franchise basically the same thing. So
Okay.
it was a good game. So
Yeah. Well,
always is.
I enjoy Madden as well. My number 3 game that I played this year is BioShock Infinite. This game came out like quite a few years ago, probably like 5 years ago. But I just got around to playing it this year. I really liked the first BioShock, and this one was just as good. I like just developing, seeing the story develop through like the recordings you find, and I thought that the powers you get throughout the game were really cool. You get the crows and the fire you blast out of your hands, and it was just a cool experience to go through. I'm glad that I went through it and played that game because I know it was a highly rated game.
Have you
back in
have
time.
you played the other 2 BioShock games?
I played the first BioShock. I didn't
Okay.
play BioShock 2.
And this one is like, 'cause I know BioShock 1 was kind of like
Dark.
underwater,
Yeah.
right? And then this one's kind of like
This one's in
in
the
the
sky.
sky,
Yeah.
right?
But then at the end, it kind of does connect the two together.
Okay.
It's a really like convoluted ending. I didn't really like the ending very much because it just is really weird and convoluted. Like it opens up like all these different doors to different universes, and like because during the game, this woman that you find, she can like open pockets into alternate dimensions, and so you're still within this airship like Columbia, this world in the sky, but you're moving into another dimension where somebody that you killed is still alive, and it's just like weird stuff like that is like twisting the story around, and then at the end you like find out that there's all these different dimensions, and it was kind of a confusing ending, but overall it was a good game.
I mean, with that making your top 5, obviously it must hold up pretty well because that game
Yeah,
came out what,
definitely.
like
Wasn't it
2011?
2011? I think
Oh,
you're
right.
right. I think you're spot
7
on.
years ago.
And look at
Okay.
you, Eric, with your game knowledge.
Yeah.
Shit.
There we go.
No.
like having you guys around for that. Just tell me that stuff. All right, so now we're on to our top 2. So Brett, what was your second best game?
So this is going to be a long story, but I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
My number 2 game is Bloodborne, made by From Software and Japan Studio. And Japan Studio is a Sony first-party studio. So Bloodborne is the first game I got into the Soulsborne series. And since playing Bloodborne, I played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Demon Souls.
Mm-hmm.
And Bloodborne is by far my favorite. I bought it when it came out in March of 2015, and I didn't understand the whole concept of, you're gonna die in this game. It's gonna happen. You have to, level up and persevere and learn the different tricks and be aggressive, because the game rewards you for being aggressive. And I finally picked it up when it went on sale in 2017, and my friend Jared wanted to play with me, and I'm like, okay, it's been 2 years, let's try it again, and it clicked. It finally clicked for me, and I became obsessed with it, reading lore, and I beat it. I got the platinum. The action was amazing. It felt so satisfying beating a boss and going to the next level and hitting the lamp to give you your checkpoint. And it's so fast. Unlike Dark Souls, which is you have a shield and it's more slower. You're playing more defensive and you're waiting for your opening. In Bloodborne, you're pretty much diving right into it. You're hitting them. You're getting different combos.
Okay.
You back up, you heal, and do the same thing over and over again. And it's a masterpiece. I think whoever has it, PlayStation 4, needs to play this game. If you don't, you're missing out. No matter if you're a From Software fan or not, you need to play it. Once it clicks, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it still has that level of difficulty like the other
Of course.
ones.
It's my favorite Soulsborne game after playing all of them, and I can't wait. Hopefully there's a sequel for the PlayStation 5, and it's a masterpiece, and it's deserving all the reviews it got when it came out, and I can't say more than, it's just an amazing game that you need to just play and experience it for yourself, because reading about it won't do it justice.
Okay.
Watching somebody else play it won't do it justice.
Yeah, it really surprised me when you ended up getting so into that game, because that really just doesn't even seem to be your type of
It's
game.
not.
But I guess you never really know until you actually go and pick up the game.
Well, it helped that I was playing with Jared and playing with him, and but because you can play the whole game multiplayer,
Right.
So but then if you play with multiplayer, you can get invaded, and they kind of can stunt your progress, and you die. You just start all over again. Go get your blood echoes, and
Well, I guess it's good that you played it this late after
Yeah.
it came out then. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with that as much probably.
like I did with Dark Souls 1, the
Yeah.
remastered, and that was a pain in my ass. Even though I beat it, fuck those guys, they kept on invading me. So that was my number 2 game.
All right, Eric, what was your number 2 game?
Coming out at number 2 was Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Yeah, much like with Brett, I thought it was a great story. I didn't have as much an issue with as far as fast travel went, because you could just turn on the cinematic camera and take a little break and let it travel itself.
Mhm.
But I don't have a huge issue with that. The gunplay I thought was alright. It's what you expect from a Rockstar game.
It sucks. That's what
Yeah.
that's what you expect. It sucks.
Yeah, well, it's Rockstar, so you kind of know what you're getting with it.
Yeah, it's more
But
based on the story than just the.
It's very
the
story
combat.
driven. So, one thing I didn't really get into was the epilogue, the ending. I didn't like the epilogue. I haven't even played through the whole epilogue yet. I don't know if I want to have spoilers here, but
I haven't quite finished it yet, so don't spoil it.
Just go ahead. No, I'm kidding. Scott.
after the end of the game, let's just say I wasn't really interested in the epilogue.
Okay. Well, it was
Well,
clearly-
not
not bad enough to ruin the
spoilers, but did you play Red Dead 1?
Part of it.
Okay.
I played through probably about half that
That's
game.
okay.
But yeah,
I did play through Red Dead 1, so.
the epilogue supposedly a good transition into the original game,
Okay.
but it's just not something. After playing, I don't know how many hours I played on that game. It was a lot. Unfortunately, PlayStation doesn't record that for you, but I had a lot of hours, and once I beat the actual story, I kind of lost interest in the epilogue.
Okay.
But I thought it was kind of misplaced, to be
It's
honest.
still
but-
good enough for second best on your list.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm gonna put a game that I've put more hours into than basically any other game almost. Hearthstone by Blizzard. It's a card game that they have. It's based off of the Warcraft characters. It's just a competitive card game. Online, you collect the cards and you battle your opponents. They have a ton of different modes. The thing that I love about the game the most is probably the sound effects. Like when you play a card, probably my favorite one is the Jiraxis card. You face Jiraxis! it's just great.
Is there any
Every
other
time you
examples
play
you
it-
can
Yeah,
give us?
Scott. Any more? voices.
Sometimes I forget things, and there's a bunch of different ones. And why do you call? I feel icky. And oh man, those things are great. I love those.
I'm
sound
cringing.
effects.
I'm cringing.
But yeah, it's a great game. They always have like they release. They're called like Dungeon Run. They're like story mode that they release. That you play through. Those are always really cool. I've played a ton of time into that game. It's a free-to-play game if you guys ever want to check it out. You do have to like buy like packs to get into it, so you're probably not going to be competitive if you're just starting out.
Yeah.
No, they have that on the phone. That's not like exclusively on the phone though, right? You can play it.
No, yeah,
PC,
so it's
right?
got mobile, PC. I don't think they have it for the consoles.
See, if they had it for the consoles, I would probably jump
Yeah.
into it, but I don't know. I just don't get into
Okay.
phone games because I just feel like whenever I'm on my phone, I'm
Yeah.
on the move. I don't have time to sit there and play a game. I'd rather play it on my console, personally.
All right. So now we are on to our best favorite games that we played in 2018. So Brett, what was the top game that you played this year?
Well, my number one game for 2018 is my favorite game of all time.
Jesus.
The game
I've
that
heard you talk
the
about
game
this a
that
lot.
keeps on giving, and people should play this game more than Bloodborne. Number one, Shadow of the Colossus. It was remastered. Was it remastered? I think it was remade by Blue Point Games this year, and it was originally made by Team Ico, and that game came out in 2005, and then it was remastered in 2011 with Ico by Blue Point Games for the PS3. And I bought this game on release, and when it came out in February 6th this year, and there's nothing really to say about it besides that this is a work of art and it should be in museums. It's that good. It's so simple. There's no real dialogue. The world is so barren and there's not a lot going on. All you have to do, you play as a boy named Wander whose lady friend, girlfriend, this maiden who has died, and he takes her to the Forbidden Lands, and there's a deity there who says, well, if you slay all 16 colossi, I will bring her back to life. And Wander's like, cool, I'll do it. So he gets on his horse, and you play, and you ride to these 16 colossi, one after the other. They're each a puzzle of their own. And it's not, dude, you have to play it, Eric. You have to play it. It's just a masterpiece, and it's a game where the soundtrack makes you feel alone. And it makes you feel like you're on this adventure, but you're just a boy and his horse trying to kill these 16 giant colossi, each a different puzzle. And then once you're killing them, you realize that the colossi are not the true enemies. And you see how they affect you as, the boy in the game. And you actually feel sorry for the colossi, because at the end of the game you realize that the colossi were actually, I guess the heroes. They're the ones preventing the bad thing from happening at the end. And, do you guys mind if I spoil it?
It's fine.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, you have spoiled most of it already.
Yeah,
so
you
just
already
keep going.
So each time you kill a colossi, a part of the deity, his name is Dorman, you absorb it, and then after you kill all 16 colossi, you become Dorman. And that's what he wanted. He wanted you to kill these 16 colossi so that he could become alive again. And it's a tragic tale of a boy trying to save his girlfriend, lady friend, whatever, and you end up killing these colossi who have no reason to be killed. And it's just a game that really pulls at your heartstrings, and it's emotional. It's just beautifully made, and Ueda, who's the creative director on the game, now he works for his own company called Gen Design, and I can't wait to see what they put out. They made Ico and The Last Guardian. So, just a beautiful tale, and it's a game I cannot stop playing. It's not that long. It's only 8 hours long, if that. So
we'll probably just see this on as your number one game every
this
year
will
from
be
now on
well.
until the end of
I won't since the new version came out this year.
Yeah.
It won't be on next year, but it was just a game that I can't stop thinking about. Different lore and different what happened to this Forbidden Lands. So
Alright.
definitely my favorite game of all time.
Very cool. All right, Eric, what was your favorite game that you played this year?
Coming in at number 1, I think the game that everyone expects, my boy, Kratos.
Oh, you got God of War number 1.
And God of War. Yeah, I think this would probably be my game of the generation, at least so far. But we'll see. We'll see if we'll see if anybody can change that before the end of the generation. But yeah, this game just hit it out of the park. I mean, everything about the game is just. I love how they changed the the gameplay from the previous God of Wars, where they slowed it down. It's more of a role-playing game now. And later on in the game, when you get your other weapon, not gonna spoil anything, but when you get that other weapon, man, it just brings a whole new level of that game. But man, yeah, that game was perfect. I don't have any complaints about that game. I love the length of it, and yeah, just hit it out of the park. I mean, what more can I say?
No, it is a great game. Scott, you need to play that game.
I plan on it.
Okay.
After I finish my number 1 game.
Okay.
So, my number 1 game is, I just started playing it a couple weeks ago. It's Spider-Man, the PS4 exclusive
This
game.
guy, right?
It just came out. Yeah. I really like that game. Spider-Man just comes to life in it, and every time I boot it up, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I get to play as Spider-Man, and I'm swinging around. The swinging mechanics are all really cool. The city's really cool. It came to life, and I'm still engaged in the story, and the combat progresses perfectly, I think, through, evolves with the game, and yeah, that's just, I've had a really good time playing it.
Now, do you agree with me when I say that this is the best iteration of Peter Parker we've seen yet? In terms of movies or TV shows?
Even compared to the movies and stuff.
Yeah, because Yuri Lowenthal did such a great job.
I think he did very good. I would have to say he's probably a little bit better than Tobey Maguire, even from those original movies.
So, how far along in this game have you gotten?
I'm about 60% through it now.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
And
so you're almost getting ready for God of War, then, huh?
it'll be coming up soon. Yeah.
so, in our first video, you said that Spider-Man was a sole reason why you bought a PlayStation 4. Has this justified your purchase so far?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
How does it compete with exclusives for any other consoles?
Oh, you mean have I
How does it
played
compete?
a game that's just as good on Xbox that's an Xbox exclusive, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, are we talking the whole history of Xbox?
No, I'm just talking
This generation.
Just this generation? No, yeah, this is the best console exclusive
First game you played
that.
on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Didn't even win an award.
I know, it didn't win an award. I was so disappointed about that. But yeah, that was my top game for 2018. So let's wrap it up. I thought we all had some good games that are all fun for us to play. And hopefully you guys will check these games out and have fun with them yourselves.
It was a great year for games.
It was a very good year.
It's a great time to be a gamer, and hey, looking forward to 2019.
Yep.
That's right.
Should be a good year too.
All right, yeah, and we'll discuss that some more next week. We're gonna try to come on and discuss what we're looking forward to in the coming year, in 2019, and we're gonna get the general direction of where our Gamescast is going to be heading for next year. With that, I think we'll make sure that you like us. If
Maybe
you like the
even
video,
subscribe to us.
to the video. Yeah. With that, I will say good day to you guys and have fun gaming.
See you later.
Later.